Any newcomers here tonight?
Yeah.
Some of your guests?
Yeah, there are many.
He's losing a memory, I think. Never been to a Hare Krishna. We've never seen a Hare Krishna before. Please introduce us to your guests who are coming for the first time.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah, she's a Supriti. Her mother has come.
Pardon?
And then
Your first time coming to a Hare Krishna program in Scotland?
Yes.
Welcome. Thank you. And somebody else?
So Vichitra and his family, they join us for Bhagavad Gita for Baleshwar Prabhu's session, but they are
Fairly new.
not in temple. They don't come in temple so far.
They've not
They
been.
join local community programs. So.
Hare Krishna.
And we have a
Thank you.
Shubhram and a wife. He's away.
You have what?
Shubhram.
Some more devotees.
Shubhram. So he's upstairs with his kid. He's coming. So they like come on festivals like Janmashtami and other.
Nice. Today is also a festival day in one sense. Oh, what happened to the sweet rice last night? I never saw it.
It got forgot about.
Is it still outside?
Yeah, it's still there. We'll serve it tomorrow.
That's because tonight's normally the night.
No.
They kept it. They weren't there last night. The way it rained. Today is the first month of Damodar. Some of you are familiar with this month. Of course, which part of India you're all from, I do not know. Are you mostly from North India, Middle India, South India, or a mixture?
Mixed.
Mixed. Who's from South India? Meaning, the southern states, Karnataka and Tamil and Kerala, like that. Maybe southern Andhra. You're from there? Andhra. And yourself? Where are you from? Pardon?
From Karnataka.
Karnataka. And where else? Anyone else from South India? Perhaps some of you are behind the column there. Lord Nrsingadev, no, Lord Nrsingadev will burst out from behind the column and consume me. Anyone else from South India? What about like Maharashtra or Orissa or Gujarat side?
Orissa.
Orissa? Also Orissa? Maharashtra.
Orissa, not Maharashtra.
Pardon?
Orissa.
Puri? Oh, you're very fortunate. Yes, Prabhu. Gujarat. It's kind of middle come north. Any more from Gujarat? So, by default, it means anyone who hasn't put their hand up must be from somewhere else. Anyone from North India? Of course, you might be from another part of the world. Which part of North India?
From Uttarakhand.
Where? Pardon?
Uttar Pradesh.
Uttar Pradesh, UP. And some of you may be from East Africa or something, I don't know. There are other stopping points between India and Scotland. Maybe you're from London. Anywhere else? Anyone from Sri Lanka or from some other ex-part of India? Anyway, wherever you're from, it's nice. Thank you for coming. So, I guess those from North India are a little more familiar with the significance of this month of Damodar. You probably know the meaning of Damodar, do you? What does Damodar mean? Damodar. What's going on with this loudspeaker? It's moving around. Mobile speaker. Yes.
Dam, I've heard this. So dam means rope and udar means stomach.
Yeah, like that, like the abdomen. So it's come back again.
Yeah.
He went for a little tour of the room. checked it out, and came back again.
Like living beings in the material world. I think it's on full.
It's on full?
It's on full.
It's on full. So, I don't know your name, but what's your name?
Nitya.
Nitya?
Nitya.
Nitya. Nitya? Nitya said that it means rope, dhamma, and udara, like the stomach or the abdomen. So the rope around the stomach. This is famous pastime. I don't know if you have a picture or deity here. I can't see from here.
Deities are there, Maharaj.
On the altar.
Yeah, Maharaj.
On the right, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, so this, most of you are, I presume, familiar with this scene. It's a scene of Krishna's mother Yasoda binding Krishna, apparently with a rope. So I thought we'll read a little bit tonight from this wonderful pastime from the Krishna book. It's for many devotees' favourite pastime, especially those who are worshipping Krishna. From Gujarat, you must be in Vatsalya Bhav. Who is from Gujarat? Who is from Gujarat? You're from Gujarat. So mostly Sri Vallabha Sampradaya, they worship Krishna in the mood of Vatsalya or parental affection. See if we can find it. Because coming up soon in this month, maybe in a couple of weeks, will be the Diwali. Now, and I'd be very surprised if every one of you is not observing and familiar with Diwali. North, south, east and west. I think in India, Diwali is a recognized festival, isn't it? Maybe celebrated a little differently in different places, but in principle everybody knows Diwali. In some countries, Diwali has become, even in America, I heard some, I don't remember the details, but I've heard in some places they've declared a holiday on Diwali, even in the United States. It's in other places around the world also. This is declared as a holiday, probably the most, overall anyway, most national. It's meant to be a spiritual festival. Can you find the chapter? The Soda Binding Krishna. Look up in the index in the beginning, right at the beginning, there's an index. Soda Binds Krishna.
Chapter 9,
Is it? Chapter 9, I think. Chapter 9. Unfortunately, like many festivals, it's kind of lost a lot of its spiritual edge. All religion, I don't know all religion, but certainly in Christianity, maybe in Hinduism too. I won't say the same about Islam, they're probably more adherent to their subject to their festival. But certainly many of these festivals have become a little bit not quite what they're meant to be. It's supposed to be a holy day. So on Diwali festival, generally it's, well, even the word itself, Deepavali, festival of lights, and we offer lights, lamps, we light up the house and so on. And in different places, probably in South India, I've not seen, but in Malaysia, which is South Indian, Indians are all South Indian on that, Sri Lankan. It's an open door and then everybody's invited to come to your house. You open the doors and all day long, anyone basically is where everyone, anyone who comes, you receive them with at least with something, some nice food stuff or a gift of something, nice words, some refreshments. Like this, they open the house and welcome everyone. It's a nice gesture. I've got different parts, different people will understand the significance of Diwali, but that, from the material point of view, that's nice that we're kind of opening up to other people of other denominations, of other cultures, other religions and so on. It's nice. Usually we hear, different parts of India again, or different states, they will have probably a different take on it. But is when Lord Ramchandra returns to Ayodhya after conquering over Ravana in Lanka and so on. That's the common one, at least the common one we hear, but maybe others. The day when Nalakubar, I think, was killed. Different things are there. What other things around India do they say significant about Diwali? What's the history? You're from India, and I know you. So around India, I don't mean devotees, I mean but people in general. What do they say in terms of the history of Diwali? Do you have any knowledge of the history? Why that festival has now taken on such significance?
It's when Lord Rama returns from Vanvas.
Huh?
When Lord Rama returns from Vanvas.
Well, that's what I just said, isn't it? I mentioned that the most popular one, that Lord Ramchandra returns to Ayodhya. The whole city is lit up when he returns. Is there anything else that they say? What do they say in South India?
Killing demon Narakasura.
Pardon?
Killing demon Narakasura.
Yeah, that's the other one we mentioned, the killing of Narakasura. What else do they say? Anywhere else? Anything else? Pardon? I mean, people in general around India, what do they say? If you're an ordinary villager in Maharashtra, what do they say about Diwali?
At Diwali there is a one like ritual called Vasubaras where the cow and calf are cow and calf are both are like worshipped on that day. Vasubaras
They may be worshipped, but what's the history until? Not so much the rituals that are performed, but rather, like, Christian, specific thing, like Christmas is the day that Jesus was supposed to be born. Well, it may not be, but that's what they say. Janananda is the day Krishna was supposed to be born, isn't it? And we've already mentioned any others? Because I think there are a few more, other than the devotee one. Well, they're all devotee ones, but the Gaudiya devotees, or the Krishna Vaishnavas. Anything else? Maybe that's the only two. Huh? You had your hand up, Prabhupada Pran?
I think that he may answer that Maharaj is asking why, the Janmashtami, when Krishna is born, we celebrate the Janmashtami. So why we celebrate Diwali other than Sri Rama's arrival? Any other reason,
Yeah, Narakasura we heard also.
No, so definitely the Rama arrival was a precious, okay, and then they came after 14 years to Ayodhya.
Yeah.
So everyone wants it to be celebrated, but
Yeah.
the others also like consider as a victorious event.
Pardon?
The victory against Ravana.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ravana is a symbol of
Evil.
Evils.
Good over evil.
Yeah. So there's a victory over the evils.
Yeah.
Okay, against the evils.
Yeah.
Okay, so the whole region wanted to be contribute in that victory because they were not along with the Ram
Okay.
in the Lanka.
So
Okay.
north, south, east and west, they all accept this as
Yes.
being the main reason, is it, for Diwali?
Yeah,
The
so
victory of Ram over
it's
Ravana.
just a combined reason that they just celebrated the
Yeah.
Ram arrivals
Yeah.
along with the victories over the evils.
Yeah. Some people in Sri Lanka don't celebrate it.
So actually it's a myth. Like if you just read a lot, then whatever the Lanka we imagine, that's not a Sri Lanka. As a different places, as a different like there was a different books where it's mentioned. The some of books is mentioned that the whatever the Lanka where the Rama went was a different
Place,
Sri
yeah,
Lanka,
that's
but
the thing.
it's just a country.
It's described, the actual location of Lanka is described in the Ramayana, which doesn't coincide with the present island of Sri Lanka. It's a different direction. But whatever it is, it represents the You could say, materially speaking, at least, good over evil. But what do the devotees of Krishna, why do they take it so seriously, Diwali? Does anyone know?
Go over there, Krishna retreat, go over there.
Because of Damodar Lila?
Very close, but it's not the same day. Almost the same day, just one day different, or 2 days different maybe.
Damodar Lila?
Yes, that's why we're talking about the Damodar Lila. On that day of Diwali was the day that Mother Yasoda bound up Krishna. And then there's a long story, there's a whole, a little bit in the Krishna book is mentioned, but there's so many factors involved. So many. And you can read about it if you're really interested in Kartik Mahatmya and other literatures. Many of the details, maybe Bhakti Purushottam Raj or somebody came up with a whole book on this. And all the details, things you don't normally think about, to make us understand that, we're so blind to what's going on in sense. We have such limited perception of the Supreme. With our material senses, we try to measure things. How is it possible, we say? You mentioned the word myth. I don't think you meant it in the negative sense. But this myth, in other words, it's just like a mental concoction or something people think. Something unreal. But with our material senses, what can we perceive? It's so limited, it's unreal. It's crazy. And we think we know everything. That we can measure things with our senses? That's crazy. We're so limited. So limited. Takshi Krishna Namadina Bhavad Grahamandri. Our material senses, we can't conceive of the we can't even conceive of the material nature, what to speak of the spiritual nature. We try to put measurements on everything. This is one of our biggest obstacles in spiritual life, is trying to measure everything with our tiny capacities. Yes, it's a challenge. I mean, we can't measure, even materially speaking. We may have our telescopes and so-called. And every month or two they change their opinions to this, how far away the universe is, what caused it, how many holes there are, this thing, that thing, constantly changing. They simply do not know. And they'll never know. Simple as that. It's not within their grasp. You know something, like a child looks in the sky with, there's 10 trees. That's that. There are 10 billion trees. You see what you can see. So a little tiny bit we can see, we tend to make decisions based on that. And we reject anything outside of our box as being a myth or a falsity of some kind. That's our disease. That's one of the major diseases of a conditioned soul, pride. We think we know. So we hear from Scripture, we don't hear conclusive truths from our material perception, although it is one form of understanding on subject matters, but it's not an absolute one, it's a relative one only. And in any case, you and I see the same thing differently. So who's right? Everyone sees the same thing, same object, from a different angle, a different way. We perceive it somewhat similar and somewhat differently. The nature of this world, because we're all conditioned in different ways. And by time, place and circumstance, we see in the course of history how many times the so-called truth is changed. When I was a kid 70 plus years ago, and what we were taught is different to what you're taught now. In science, in biology, everything's changed. Even economics, everything's changed. Theories. They are theories. Theories are not facts. Theories are not facts. They have to stand true in all time, place and circumstance. That there are some laws, they've come up with some laws which are more or less facts, but they're only relatively speaking significant. So let's read this little chapter here, chapter 9. of the Krishna book if you want to follow on the modern gadgets. I doubt whether any of you have a Krishna book. Do you have Krishna books here? Other than this one. Any other Krishna books available? Do you have any in your vehicle?
I don't think we're doing else.
I can get some
Where from?
from the house nearby.
Nice. You've got a good stock, have you?
No, just one
Just one. Oh.
for myself.
Everyone's looking on their iPad or their iPhone or something or another. Isn't it amazing? It's kind of convenient, but believe me, you cannot replace the book with 1 million iPads. Does not equal one book. Just by seeing the book, people they start their Krishna conscious life, touching the book. You don't go up to people on the street and touch them with your mobile phone. Maybe you do, but that's not going to help them much spiritually. But if you touch them with the Krishna book, their life will never be the same. It's non-different than Krishna. And they do say, I read a report from both scientists and psychologists, that the benefit from reading the book is between 6 to 8 times greater than that of reading an electronic gadget, whatever it is. Both from the digestive point of view, the health point of view, every point of view they were saying. So don't put the books aside just because we've got the convenience of the mobile or something like that. The Kindle, the iPad, whatever it is. It can be used, obviously it's convenient, but the books are the best. Whenever you get, it's like the beads. Some of you are chanting japa on the beads. Is it better to chant on the beads or the clicker? What do you think? Do you agree, Shan? If Shan agrees, it must be true. On the beads. It's something special, isn't it? Anyway, with no further ado, we will hear about Krishna if we can. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So once upon a time, a nice way to introduce the subject. Keep playing. Seeing that her maidservant was engaged in different household duties, Mother Yasoda personally took charge of churning butter. Now the fact of the matter was, that day being Diwali, that most of the residents of Nanda Maharaj's Gokul had left. They'd gone to other town to celebrate Diwali. There was very few devotees left. So Mother Yasoda herself was churning the butter. Now there's another reason she was churning the butter, which is of course the internal reason, you could say, was, you may know that prior to this pastime, there have been some pastimes where Krishna was behaving very naughty. What was he doing? What was he doing? He was stealing the butter and the sweets from the neighboring gopis' houses. And they were complaining to Mother Yasoda. It was another pastime, isn't it? So, cutting the story short, Mother Yasoda decided that there must be something wrong, because normally all of her maidservants, she had so many thousands of maidservants, who would prepare unending sweets and milk preparations for Krishna. Krishna's favorite foodstuffs are milk products. He loves milk products. I know that some of us in this modern day that we're in have decided to take up a vegan diet. It may be because of health, it may be because of other reasons. But oftentimes it's not the right reason. Maybe health is a reason. But otherwise it's often some kind of sentiment. But we're not here to become healthy, we're not here to become goody-goodies in the material sense of the term. We're here to be, well, you may have different opinions on that, every one of us, but what is the Hare Krishna's reason for being here? We're waiting for the prasadam, right? You heard there was a feast tonight, huh? Now, what are we trying for? What is our objective?
To serve.
To serve, yeah, and to be Krishna conscious. To become Krishna conscious. And that means we want to do what Krishna wants, what he likes. Now we may not that we should eat necessarily, we're not here to eat, we honor, but still we offer Krishna what he likes. And we, from scriptures and all authorities, we know that Krishna's favourite foodstuff is milk products. He loves his cows and he loves the milk products therein. So we can't deny that. We may not eat that, but we can't deny that's what we should offer Krishna. Nice milk sweets. Like that. So she's thinking that maybe the sweets which are made by my servants are not satisfying my Lao. Well, maybe they're not bringing him enough satisfaction. He's looking somewhere else for better sweets. So she thought, let me make these sweets myself. So she has 900,000 cows, not many. That's one of the smallest herds in Gokul, by the way. Some of them are like 50 billion. But this is the prime herd of Gokul. And how you measure these things? You cannot. It's a spiritual world. It's not measurable by material senses. So she has 900,000 prime cows. Amongst those, 100 are very, very special. And amongst those, there are a few who are the most special of all. So she took the most special of all those cows, and their milk comes out pretty much like sweet butter. Pretty much comes. And we have here in the United Kingdom, they have something called Cornish clotted cream. Have you ever heard of that? Cornish clotted cream. I'm sure you've tasted it. It's probably not what it used to be. Probably not what it used to be. I mean, it used to be, generally speaking, much more, creamy, I think. But practically the milk comes out of the udders. It's almost like clotted cream when it comes out. It's mostly cream, it's not much milk. It's more or less cream coming out down in Cornwall. Cornish clotted cream. Sankirtan devotees, some of them would seem to go to Cornwall a lot for Sankirtan. They didn't distribute as many books as they should do, but they certainly did get plenty of Cornish clotted cream. It's a very, very rich milk, perhaps the richest in the world, I don't know. It's very, very rich. You don't have to, it's already cream, you just, drain the milk off the bottom and you've got a big pot of cream automatically. If you just churn it a little bit, you get really thick cream. So Mother Yasoda was using the best of the best of the best of the best milk to make the best sweets that no one can compare with, maybe Radharani. But she's making these wonderful preparations for Krishna. And she's boiling the milk to make these sweets so delicious for Krishna. Churning they make, they turn the milk into yogurt and then they churn the yogurt to make the butter and the ghee and the this and the that. So she's churning the yogurt and churning for Krishna's pleasure. She's got milk on the stove for Krishna's pleasure. Everything for Krishna's pleasure. So her child was very young at that age, this little child. So she put him down while she's doing all this. He's sleeping nicely. Krishna wakes up, of course. Let's see what happens now. She was singing the childhood pastimes as she churned, and enjoyed thinking of her son. The end of her sari was tightly wrapped while she churned, and on account of her intense love for her son, milk automatically dripped from her breasts, which moved as she laboured very hard. Churning with 2 hands. The bangles and bracelets on her hands tinkled as they touched each other, and her earrings and breasts shook. There were drops of perspiration on her face, and the flower garland which was on her head scattered here and there. Before this picturesque sight, Lord Krishna appeared as a child. He felt hungry, and to increase his mother's love, he wanted her to stop churning. He indicated that her first business was to let him suck her breast, and then she could churn butter later. Mother Yasoda took her son on her lap and pushed the nipple of her breast into his mouth. And while Krishna was sucking the milk, she was smiling, enjoying the beauty of her child's face. Suddenly, the milk which was on the stove began to boil over. Just to stop the milk from spilling, Mother Yasoda at once put Krishna aside and went to the stove. Kind of a strange thing to do, you could say. There she is, the perfection of life. She has Krishna on her lap. She's feeding young Krishna, baby Krishna, with her breast milk. And then the milk, she could hear it boiling over in the nearby kitchen. And so she put Krishna down and went to adjust the milk on the stove. Of course, there's a very esoteric aspects of there in this pastime, that in the spiritual platform everything is personal. The milk is also personal. This is very hard for us to conceive with material senses. It's not possible. But the milk is also personal. It says, describes in the Shastra that the milk was thinking, oh, what the use of our existence. When Krishna is drinking Mother Yasoda's milk from her breast, what's the use of us? We cannot possibly have any value after this. So let us commit suicide. So the milk decided to boil over and burn itself in the fire. Pretty hard to imagine, isn't it? But everything's personal. Of course it never dies either, but this is the mentality that we are useless compared to Mother Yasoda. We're nothing. It was thinking like that. So why did Mother Yasoda do that? The whole pastime is for pleasure of Krishna. She's a dilemma, you could say a bit of a dilemma. But she's making all these sweets and boiling the milk and churning the butter and everything, wholly and solely only for the Krishna's pleasure, nothing else whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. So she decided, because this milk is only for Krishna's pleasure, I can't let it, boil over and commit suicide like this. I have to do something quickly. Emergency. Huh? And of course, Krishna saw it a different way. Left in this condition, Krishna became very angry, and his lips and eyes became red in rage. If there wasn't anger in the spiritual world, there would be no anger in this world. So can we blame Krishna? It's all his fault, isn't it, when we become angry? Because Krishna gets angry. Otherwise, I'm a nice peaceful guy, but because of Krishna I get angry. Do we blame Krishna?
No.
Why not?
It's our choice.
Pardon?
It's a choice we have.
Choice? 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 What's that mean?
We can choose to be angry or not.
Well, usually we don't have, it's kind of out of our control, isn't it? Anger, usually. You can't just flare up. Hardly you think before you get angry, you just flare up. You think afterwards. Anger is so dangerous. Boom. So you could say in one sense you have a choice, but it's like we're almost forced by a conditioning. So what's the difference between material anger and the anger that Krishna's expressing here? Any difference?
It's not selfish. He's angry because he thinks Mother Yasoda could be enjoying looking at my face.
Well, that's a very transcendental way of looking at the world. But he's angry because his dearmost devotee in Vatsalya Bhav is now not getting so much pleasure. That's a very in-house perception. I don't know how much absoluteness there is to in-house perception, but it's certainly a very transcendental one, I can say that. I'm not going to say it is or it isn't, because I don't know. That's between them. You may well be right, maybe that's there in the in the, Shiva Maharaj has written about that. I don't know. I'm sure he has. There's a book called Damodar which Shiva Maharaj wrote. I read that a long time ago, I remember. And so what's the effect of Krishna's anger? What does anger do in this world? Does it make everyone happy?
Destruction.
Pardon?
Destruction.
Destructive. And become, just breaks up families, causes wars, and so many problems. Out of anger. You ruin everything. On the spot, all your work can be finished on the spot just by a momentary anger. Years of endeavour can be ruined with one outburst of anger. One outburst. Even in family life, one outburst of anger and it's all over. It's very dangerous. What is Krishna's anger? What did it result in? Or what does it result in? When he shows anger, it's transcendental anger. It's just another aspect of loving exchange. Sometimes you could say, this world to a certain extent that's like that, but not in most cases. In Krishna's anger, what happens? Don't give me another one of those far-out answers.
It increases his devotees' love for him.
Yeah, increases love. And just see, because of this whole pastime is now available. And when you hear this pastime, how do you feel? Do you get angry when you hear this pastime? Do you get passionate and angry? What happens when you hear this pastime? If you hear it, if you don't hear it, what can you do? What happens if you hear it? What's the effect of hearing Krishna's pastime?
You become satisfied, Maharaj.
You become very satisfied.
Cleansing of heart.
Pardon?
Cleansing of heart.
Cleanses our heart. Anything else?
Attracted to Krishna.
You become attracted to Krishna. You please Krishna. It's very, by hearing these pastimes, you also please Krishna. It's everything there, everything we're looking for is fulfilled simply by hearing the pastimes of Krishna. All your desires fulfilled. Ultimately, absolute desires fulfilled. It's all auspicious, it's all good. Everyone benefits. Even, when Krishna, we heard about Ram killing Ravana. Ravana was, by being killed by Ram, was the most fortunate. Yeah. Everything Krishna does is all good, all beneficial. Always thinking of the welfare of others. So this is all part of this transcendental loving relationship going on here. In the meantime, Mother Yasoda, we missed something. He pressed his teeth and lips and taking up a piece of stone, he immediately broke the butter pot. He took butter out of it with forced tears in his eyes. He began to eat the butter in a secluded place. He likes to eat butter. In the meantime, Mother Yasoda returned to the churning place after setting the overflowing milk pan in order. She saw the broken pot in which the churning yogurt had been kept. Since she could not find her boy, she concluded that the broken pot was his work. She smiled as she thought, this child is very clever. After breaking the pot, he's left his place, fearing punishment. After she sought all over, she found her son sitting on a big wooden grinding mortar which was kept upside down. He was taking butter from a pot which was hanging from the ceiling on a swing, and he was feeding it to the monkeys. She saw Krishna looking this way and that way in fear of her, because he was conscious of his naughty behavior, as children do, something's happening. Every parent knows it. Something's happened. Maybe the pot of something spilt all over the table. Your little kid knocked it over. Kid sort of sat there. You come in. I didn't do it. You never even asked them if they did. They immediately say, I didn't do it. Never even asked them, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. They don't know, they said, Krishna's sitting there like, a long story about that. They know they did it, but they're trying to cover it over. Mother Yasoda then. He immediately got down, but however, she was conscious now. After seeing her son so engaged, she was very silently approached him from behind. Krishna, however, saw her coming toward him with a stick in her hand. In some places it said he saw her reflection in the eyes of a monkey. Reflecting, looking at the monkey, he saw his mother coming from behind. And he immediately got down from the grinding mortar and began to flee in fear. Mother Yasoda chased him to all corners, trying to capture the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is never approached even by the meditations of great yogis. In other words, the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is never caught by the yogis and speculators, was playing just like a little child for such a great devotee as Mother Yasoda. Mother Yasoda, however, could not easily catch the fast-running child because of her thin waist and heavy body. Still, she tried to follow him as fast as possible. Her hair loosened, and the flowers in her hair fell to the ground. Yet she jumped out of her hair to touch her lotus feet. He wanted to touch her lotus feet. Although she was tired, she somehow reached her naughty child and captured him. We have to capture Krishna. How do we capture Krishna? How do you capture Krishna? You run fast. Is that how you capture him? You have to run fast. How do you capture Krishna? We were reading the other day, Prabhupada said we have to capture Krishna. How do you capture him? Somebody said? Who said?
We can capture Krishna by our love.
By your love. What if you don't have love? We have love, but what if we don't have love for Krishna? How much love do we have? How do we capture Krishna? Ultimately, he's only captured by love. But there's a way. He's made himself accessible. Even though we're not really qualified, he's made himself, yes. Well done, well spoken. Prabhupada said that's how we capture. We have to capture Krishna in the name. Take the name, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Keep the name on the tongue. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. That's how we capture Krishna, by chanting. Chant, chant, chant. So simple. We're not Mother Yasoda. We're conditioned souls. Like the Lord has appeared in this way. He can be captured like that. When he was caught, Krishna was almost on the point of crying. He smeared his hands over his eyes, which were anointed with the black eye cosmetics. The child saw his mother's face while she stood over him, and his eyes became restless with fear. Again, if there's no fear in Krishna, there'd be no fear here. Everything is in Krishna, but this fear is a loving exchange, it's sweet, blissful experience. It just appears like this. It's all part of the pastimes, increasing the pleasure between the Lord and his devotee. Mother Yasoda could understand that Krishna was unnecessarily afraid, and for his benefit she wanted to allay his fears, being the topmost well-wisher of her child. Mother Yasoda thought, if the child is too fearful of me, I don't know what will happen to him. Mother Yasoda then threw away her stick. In order to punish him, she thought to bind his hands with some ropes. She did not know it, but it was actually impossible for her to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mother Yasoda was thinking that Krishna was her tiny child. She did not know that the child had no limitation. There is no inside or outside of him, nor beginning or end. He is unlimited and all-pervading. Indeed, he is himself the whole cosmic manifestation. Still, Mother Yasoda was thinking of Krishna as her child. Although he is beyond the reach of all senses, she endeavoured to bind him to a wooden grinding mortar. But when she tried to bind him, what happened? She got some rope. What happened? I mean, he was quite small, a little baby. And she was tying him to this mortar and grinding the spices. And what happened?
Always short of 2 fingers.
Pardon?
Always short of 2 fingers.
Yeah, the rope wasn't long enough. Okay, not surprising you could say. So just bring some more rope. So she gathered more rope. But when she tried to bind him, the rope was using was too short by 2 inches. Well, it actually says 2 inches. She gathered more ropes from the house and added to it, but still she found the same shortage. Strange. Is he getting fatter? Getting fatter and fatter and fatter? Was that the reason? Was that the reason? He must have been getting fatter, right? Maybe she's tying the knots too big or something? What's going on here? Pardon?
She's trying to tie up the whole universe.
She's trying to tie, yeah. Krishna, as we just heard here, is actually the whole manifestation in one sense. He's immeasurable, inconceivable, every way. Now how can you tie up that which is immeasurable with something which is measurable? It's not possible. But still, she's trying. Tried and tried and tried. More and more ropes, hundreds and hundreds of meters of rope is still not enough to bind baby Krishna. She couldn't do it. In this way, she connected all the ropes available at home, but when the final knot was added, she saw the rope was still too short by 2 fingers. Mother Yasoda was smiling, but she was astonished. How is this happening? In attempting to bind her son, she became tired. She was perspiring. The garland on her head had fallen down. Then Lord Krishna appreciated the hard labor of his mother, and being compassionate upon her, he agreed to be bound up by the ropes. So what do the 2 fingers represent? What do they represent? 2 fingers too short.
Our endeavor and mercy.
Yeah. Our sincere endeavor, intelligent endeavor with intelligence. She was trying for the highest purpose, to capture Krishna. We may not have the right attitude. Her attitude was love. Our attitude may be something else. But she had love. But even with that, it's not enough. Everything depends on the mercy of Krishna. So when Krishna saw her, the intensity of her loving endeavor, then he revealed, or in this case, he allowed her to bind him. Yes. Of course, Krishna, playing as a human child in the house of Mother Yasoda, was performing his own selected pastimes. Of course, no one can control the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The pure devotee surrenders himself unto the lotus feet of the Lord, who may either protect or vanquish the devotee, entirely up to him. But for his part, the devotee never forgets his own position of surrender. Similarly, the Lord also feels transcendental pleasure by submitting himself to the protection of the devotee. This was exemplified by Krishna's surrender unto his mother Yasoda. His mother Yasoda. He loves to surrender. The devotee loves to surrender to Krishna. Krishna loves to surrender to his devotee. It's like more than he does his devotee surrender to him. Krishna is the supreme bestower of all kinds of liberation to his devotees. But the benedictions which bestowed upon Mother Yasoda was never experienced even by Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva or the goddess of fortune. The Supreme Personality of Godhead was known as the son of Yasoda, and Nanda Maharaj is never so completely known to the yogis and speculators, but he is easily available to his devotees, nor is he appreciated as the supreme reservoir of all pleasure by the yogis and speculators. Krishna knows that he is the reservoir. Devotees rather know that Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. Through devotional service, Krishna becomes captivated. After binding her son, Mother Yasoda engaged herself in household affairs. At that time, bound up by the wooden mortar, Krishna could see a pair of trees before him, which were known as Arjuna trees. Yama Arjuna. Twin trees. Like one tree, they come out from the same root like this. They said that the roots of an Arjuna tree, they specifically grow where there are hurricanes, heavy winds. The roots are so deep and strong, very hard to move them. So these 2 trees have been sitting there for a long time. We're not going to hear that tonight. The pastime of how they came about by being there for thousands of years in that courtyard or in that area where eventually Nanda Maharaj had his courtyard, to be delivered by Krishna. A wonderful pastime of this. Lord Krishna thought to himself, Mother Yasoda first of all left without feeding me sufficient milk, and therefore I broke the pot of yogurt and distributed the stock of butter in charity to the monkeys. Now she has bound me up to a wooden mortar, so I shall do something more mischievous than before. Unwinding another wonderful pastime, delivering the 2 trees, showing the means, the method of, you could say, of receiving that mercy of Krishna. So I shall do something more. And thus he thought of pulling down the 2 very tall Arjuna trees. There's a history, and we won't get into them, of Nalakubara Maharaj. We have another part of this, but just the surface, some of the surface, let's say, of this subject. Would you like to take a book?
Please,
Yeah, how much? We usually ask a donation. Is it a donation?
£20 or
£20, okay.
I owe you.
You can give us £20 first. I don't trust you. You look like you're from Manchester. Come on.
Now you're gonna say I'm brahmachari, give me free.
Huh?
You're gonna say I'm brahmachari, give me free.
Yeah, these brahmacharis are the ones with all the money.
Yeah, I told the same Maharaj.
Come on, cough up. Cough up. Cough up. Cough up. See, a new copy hasn't been read at all. Come on. Your donation. You've got a spare, who's got a spare copy? You've got a spare copy at home? Who wants this copy? Krishna book. There we go. Who's buying it? Who's that? There we go. Anybody else? You have to give the copy back to the house, okay? You want this? You don't want it. Free. You can get it free off of him.
Free?
Let's put one back here. Where's Vijay? I've sold your Krishna book, okay? But he's going to give you another one. Is that okay? He promised he's going to give you another one in front of the devotees, all right?
Yes, Maharaj.
Who else would like a Krishna book? They're all getting really worried now. Scared out of their wits. Is that the normal price? 20 quid? Huh? You didn't know. Huh? Priceless. That doesn't mean less price. It's unlimitedly valuable. There's nothing more valuable than a Krishna book. Prabhupada personally sold them when he first came out in San Francisco in 1970 at the Rath Yatra. He personally distributed a whole box to the audience, holding up the Krishna book. It just arrived, first print, when it was printed in Japan. First print just arrived on the plane. And just came in time for Rath Yatra. Prabhupada in front of all these young people, holding up the Krishna book, and they were fighting over it. There were only 20 copies, so went real quick. People were eager to get it. I see you're equally eager to get the Krishna book here tonight. We don't have any copies, I'm afraid. What to do? You have any copies in your car? No? What to do? There's nothing like the Krishna book. That was all we had. We didn't have Gitas in those days. We just had Krishna books. Propagate the pastimes of Krishna before we even had. I mean, the Gita was there, but it wasn't available. It was only a short version. It wasn't the full. The Krishna book came out first. Amazing. Big hardbound Krishna books, 2 of them. Very big, bigger than this. And that's what we had. Prabhupada put everything in the Krishna book you need. By reading that one book, you can become Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If anyone else like a Krishna book, you have that whole one has to come back here, but you get more. Please get these books.
You have some boxes at the temple.
We have some boxes of Krishna books at the temple. There's also, by the way, this next 3 months, already started up to the end of December, is the Live to Give campaign. Many of you, doesn't mean anything to you other than it sounds nice, Live to Give. But it means during these 3 months we're going to be trying to distribute as many Bhagavad Gitas as we can. Prabhupada's Gita. Do you have a Gita here?
Yes, Maharaj.
Where? You've got any Gitas in your car? I've got one in my bag. Give me the one in the bag.
We got about
We got
10.
Gita, Maharaj. We
Huh?
got Maharaj.
About 10 in that.
You have 10 in the car? Well, I don't know.
We have Maharaj Gita.
Give me the one Gita here. You don't have this one. I don't think you have this one. This is the one with a different look at it.
Oh, there's some coming now.
Here they come. Bhagavad Gita's come. Oh, look. Oh, these are the white ones. Oh, my God. No, I've got yellow one. You've got white one. See? This is a Garanga Gita, this one. This is a Garanga Gita. Look at these Gitas. My God, they're beautiful. They're vinyl covered. Whoop. This one's from printed in India. Oh, you've got lots of these as well. Only one. No, this one's popular. Here in Scotland we got this beautiful little edition, this white one. And it's nice, it's got shrink wrap, that's plastic. Full 18 chapters and commentary by Srila Prabhupada. So this book has changed the lives of millions of people in the world. Millions. So few. No other Gita has done anything at all in that regard, practically. It has changed the face of the earth, Prabhupada, by the way, all over the world. That's why Prabhupada put it out there. Pardon? Okay. You want one? Okay. So if you want to, you can either, anyone like one, you're welcome. I don't know how much they cost either. But you can sponsor them too, is that right? Can they sponsor? Can they be sponsored? If you want to sponsor it so the devotees can distribute, or if you want to take some yourself to distribute, on Diwali it's a fantastic thing to give people on Diwali. It's much better than a million tons of halava or whatever else you could eat. I would say it's better than that, Krishna, but it's the best thing you can give to people is knowledge. The whole problem in the world is ignorance. Ignorance is destroyed by knowledge, but not material knowledge. That's just another form of ignorance. Different mode of nature, that's all. But this knowledge is transcendental, the material modes of nature. Is that right? Confirmed. So if anyone wants to sponsor these, I don't know how many you've got available, but they're really good. I mean, yeah, really good. Fantastic. Anybody like to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Anybody like to sponsor this evening? How many would you like to sponsor? 4. There's Vijay. There's 4 books. So you can, well, I've only got, oh, there's more than, there's 4. If you haven't got one, please at least get one. Anybody like a Bhagavad Gita? How many would you like, Prabhu? 4. 4?
3.
3. Give him 3. You can work it out with Prabhupada Prana afterwards. There's only 3 left in my hand. I don't know where they came from. Who'd like to take these 3? You want to sponsor them or take them away with you? Take them away and give them as gifts. That's the best thing. Take them as gifts and give them as gifts. Very good. You must have lots of friends in your office or wherever you are, in a temple or somewhere, Hindu temple, or home, relatives, friends. Give them to people you meet, as you like. Distribute them. And please, whatever donation is available, give it to Prabhupada Pram. Is that right? I think you all know Prabhupada Pram, who is sitting here.
Yeah, we have more.
Yeah, why not? More the merrier. The more the merrier. Any more?
Yeah, we have another 6 outside we can bring in if anybody wants.
Yeah, well then, I'm willing, but we have to get on with the program, I suppose. Damodar. We're going to do Damodar?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, what's happening? 2 are coming back. Oh no, we don't. No, not non-returnable, I'm afraid. No refund, no return. One way only. Back to Godhead. Fantastic. Well, thank you all very, very much. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai.
One question.
Yeah.
So when you told about the anger of Krishna, so I think we didn't finish the topic.
Huh?
So what we get from anger of Krishna?
Anger of Krishna. Well, what do we get from it? Okay.
Hare Krishna.
The anger of Krishna, of course, unwinds the whole pastime. What does anger mean? In this material world, it means we're controlled by anger. Generally, people are controlled by anger. Krishna controls anger. He uses it to churn the pastimes. A devotee uses anger in the sense because everything in this world is being misused, being used for material reasons. So we use that feeling, a little bit along the lines of what Huksha Prabhu said. Krishna, of course, he had a wonderful pastime to unwind here. But at the same time, as playing the role of a child, naturally the child gets angry. You've got children, have you? Children throw tantrums when they don't get what they want, don't they? They get a little bit excited. Huh? Even not only children, adults also. The whole world's affected like that. Huh? And it doesn't do much good hearing about that unless you can learn a lesson to control your anger, maybe. You can perhaps do a little bit there. But the basic root of anger is what?
Frustration.
Pardon? Pardon?
Feeling our own desire.
Material desire. You can read that in the Bhagavad Gita. Where does anger come from? Contemplation of the objects of senses, attachment, sense gratification, lust. From lust, anger arises. Huh? It's lust. In the spiritual world, there's no lust as we know it. It's love. In the purest sense, anger in love is just ecstasy. It's ecstatic. And when you hear Krishna's anger, it completely helps wipe out our being controlled by anger. The secret of these pastimes is there, but hearing of Krishna's so-called sometimes people misunderstand and they think that Krishna's a debaucher or something. But when you hear Krishna's amorous pastimes, it helps to cure us of this sensual desire to think that I am the enjoyer. This woman or man or this object is for my pleasure. Let me take it. This is the diseased condition. We're conquered, we're controlled by our senses. When we hear or put things in Krishna's senses for his pleasure, then that's how we can control or overcome our, you could say, situation of being conditioned or being controlled by lust or by anger or any other force right now. By hearing Krishna's pastimes, so we get that out of it. We feel very good and we feel purified, and it helps us automatically. It doesn't happen on the spot necessarily. It helps remove these conditions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. But one thing I want to say. So I was hearing a lecture. It's been said that 2 fingers short. It also signifies that to bind Krishna, we can do by karma and jnana. It must be bhakti.
Ah, very nice. Yes, Krishna cannot be bound by anything but by bhakti. And that you'll find also in the Bhagavad Gita. Again and again, isn't it? Several places, at the end of the 11th chapter, at the end of 18th chapter, you'll see Krishna makes it very clear there's no way that you can understand the other through devotion, not by knowledge, not by good works, not by charity, nothing can I be bound, not by austerities or sacrifices, nothing, only pure devotional service am I bound. Pure love, nothing else binds me. Only motive is to please Krishna, like Mother Soda. She was only thinking of Krishna's pleasure, that's what captured Krishna. Thank you. Okay, Hare Krishna.